Hello, I'm Adriana and welcome to the channel. In order to access higher vibration information from my intuition, I have worked on my issues every single day for the last 8 years in order to become a clear vessel. Being a clear vessel allows me to bring in the highest possible vibrational energy for you, for your growth, and for your journey on your spiritual path. We are looking today, we have a reading, not quite sure where it's going to go. I know that I'm going to be talking to a specific kind of soul, but we'll also be doing some individual messages for the astrological signs, 6 of them. So I'll get to that when it's time for that, but for now, who is the soul I am talking to? All right, Prince of Swords, interesting. We're looking at a very intellectual kind of soul, very analytical soul, but also someone who has a tendency to rush into action. It's not the type of impulsiveness that you might see with the King of Wands or Knight of Wands. It's more like you get a hold of what you feel is the truth, and then you have to spring into action and do something about it. Once you feel like there's been an injustice or a wrong, you have to do something, and it's a very active card, but it can be a very critical or maybe too quick to leap into things without considering all the angles or all the possibilities. There's a bit of fly by the seat of the pants kind of energy here, where you don't necessarily figure out the whole plan before you start, but you just know that you're going to be able to figure it out as you go. And your biggest focus right now is righting a wrong. There's been a wrong done to you in the past, and you're really, really focused into making that resolve or making it come out well. You do feel as though you're on the right side of things, but there's also a tendency to look at your situation with tunnel vision without perhaps either seeing the bigger picture, seeing what other factors are going into what's happening. And on the other side, you have immense powers of concentration, and you're able to focus really well. There can also be a tendency to put pressure on other people to act just as quickly as you do. And so be aware of that, because not everyone has that same knowing, okay, this is wrong, I've got to do something about it. Everyone needs their own time. All right, let's go a little deeper into the energy of this soul. 6 of Wands, 5 of Swords, oops, and I had the the Princess of Swords, she fell on the floor. Okay, 6 of Wands, 5 of Swords, Ace of Pentacles. So the 5 of Swords is interesting because the numbers we've got 1, 5, and 6. So 1 plus 5 is 6, but the 5 feels as though it's lost something. You've lost the beginning. There might have been a monetary loss in the past, or something that you consider very fundamental to being who you are. Loss of respect, loss of dignity, loss of pride. And you're feeling like you have to go after that one thing that you lost in order to come forward. I want to say, go back to the idea of pride, because it's how you want to be seen by others that is affecting your actions right now. So the desire to be seen a certain way, you feel like something has been taken from you, which takes away some of that esteem, and you're doing what you feel is right to get back some of that dignity, some of that pride, some of that esteem, some of that social esteem, essentially. But what is our Princess of Swords doing here? Why did our Princess of Swords fall out? So Princess of Swords is saying that the estimation of the situation in front of you is, it's either immature or incomplete. All right, so that there's more going on than what you're allowing yourself to see. I'm going to switch decks. So show me what's going on in the situation and show me what we're missing. Okay, what's going on? Ace of Fire, making your mark. What are we missing? Seven of Water, Knight of Fire, Page of Earth. So this is interesting because it's like, rather than grabbing what you lost, understand, let's see if we can flip your perception about what you've been into. It's not so much about what has been taken from you, but the fact that you are a trailblazer, that you are making a new way forward, showing people a different way forward. And of course, you're the only one on this path. That's the point of being a pioneer, right? Is that you're the only one. You're the beginning of a path, or the beginning of a new way. And it's going to feel like people are taking from you because they are of an older way of doing things, or perhaps an outdated or outdated way of doing things. And so because they're not interacting in a way that resonates with you, that respects who you are, because the old way is not respecting the new, then it feels like something's been taken. But the point is that nothing really has been taken from you. You're already complete. In that Six of Wands, you're already seen as a leader, big leadership. And actually Knight of Fire came out for you too. Big leadership cards here. So rather than seeing yourself as the one who was taken from, the victim, see yourself as the leader who's teaching a new way forward. Okay, Seven of Water, Knight of Fire, Page of Earth. I'll show those to you real quick, and then I'll need to look at them again the other way. Because all of this vindication, this need to be right, or need to show your truth, no matter what the cost, the tendency to kind of push it down people's throats or push it at people, is keeping you from, it's distracting you from doing the duties, or from seeing the hard work ahead of you that you have to build a more constructive future for yourself. The Page of Earth on this side says that you've had a lot of help. You've had a lot of gifts, a lot of things happen in your favor. And the Knight of Fire is saying, let's keep going with that energy. Let's look at what else has worked in our favor and focus more on that than what hasn't worked out. Because what will happen when the Knight of Fire refocuses the energy? It's something like when you refocus on what has worked and what has gone well for you, and it's like unexpected things that have come in to give you that benefit, or give you that boost. When you start to focus that direction, it's like this universal power, this galvanized fire gets activated. And does it draw? That's interesting too. So it's almost like when this fire gets activated through thinking about what has gone right, the energy surge of positive energy, the energy surge, the power of that fire actually burns up any more problems you may be having in people trying to take advantage of you, or people trying to take something from you. It's as if it's almost like a rocket type energy where they're burning up the air around you almost. And all of that just gets swept out. So it's almost like your vibration becomes purified. But that is not possible if you do not focus on the way the way you've been building constructively, the way your life has been building itself up constructively with the gifts, with the way that you respond to the gifts and the way that you're building more and more and more. Okay, so this is about really catalyzing positive energy to then activate this otherworldly energy around you that clears out your vibration and allows you to not only have to, you're going to be done with dealing with these types of situations where you have to point out what was wrong. You're elevated to this new level where you can just open up this new way forward for you. Show me what happens in the future if this suggestion is followed, if that higher galvanization is taken in. Page of Air, Elder of Fire. That's really interesting. Now I getting with this Page of Air, it's almost like, I don't like the word preaching because I think that's a little too preachy, right? This isn't about religion, but it's like you're going to be able to spread your ideas, spread your truth, that spread the gospel kind of idea, but it's spread something that's very dear to you. And you have, look at this grounded, mature fire energy at your disposal, the creativity, the confidence in taking risks, the confidence in attracting positive situations that keep opening up into more positive. It's like you're going to be able to share that experience with other people, giving them the confidence to leave behind their negativity, their victimhood. This is really about being able to open up and draw people into a higher level of consciousness, a higher state of being that ultimately is going to benefit everyone. And the other thing is that it's less about justice being done, but you understanding the creative and magnetic power of your higher self. That when you decide to align with that higher self, you have all of this magnetism drawn to you and this ability to think outside the box, this ability to tap into a different kind of frequency, a different kind of energy that ends up being not only understood by others, but it ends up inspiring others. This is all really positive, and there's something about the light, the sun, that your light is going to be more accepted. It's going to be more seen. So it's like she starts the journey and she ends here. And this couldn't be a better sequence of cards to get, because again, this is the beginning. Tarot starts at 1, goes up to 10, and then goes into the court cards. And this is the highest court card. So we've literally gone from the beginning to the end in this process through the night, an intermediate stage, through the night. And just by looking at what has gone right, just by looking at how your gifts have helped you, how the gifts from the universe has helped you get to a place where more things go right for you. Okay, I'm going to start the astrology card readings now. Now this is for sun, moon, and rising of this particular, of your signs. Okay, so if you know your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, that's who I'm drawing these cards for. Okay, we're going to do 6. All right, so we've got Gemini, we have Capricorn, we have Leo. Who else? Taurus, Pisces, and Sagittarius. Got everyone here. Now, interesting, we're not missing Earth. Do we have one? No, we've got one of each element. Which deck am I using? Okay, starting with Gemini. Extended message for Gemini, please. All right, now, as I'm doing these readings, because they are tied to the energy of what has just come before, this message is an extension of where we just were. So Gemini, 4 of Earth, being too rigid in your assessment of what's going on in your world, hanging on to, is it hanging on to a belief or a truth? It's the energy of hanging on to stifle or prevent growth from happening. It's like you don't want to let go, or you don't want to admit that the other person might be a little bit right as well. It's being really resistant to relinquishing your position. And what's coming through, Gemini, is that this is really time to release that and step into a more compassionate space. Just allow yourself, even if you disagree, just allow yourself to look at the other person's shoes for a second. Stand in their shoes for a second, because actually it's going to give you a more complete picture of what's going on, and then you're really going to have clarity on your best way forward. Okay, Capricorn. Knight of Water. Now it's interesting because in this deck they show you which astrological sign is correlated with Capricorn. I mean, and with the I'm not saying this right, which astrological sign is associated with each tarot card. And for Capricorn, it's the Devil. And we get the Knight of Water, which is talking about emotions, but being on the wrong side of emotions. On the side of emotions that pulls you down into this dark place that doesn't allow for, it's overfeeling. So hang on a second. Let me get a little clearer about what's going on. Okay, I'm getting a message to focus on the swan here. The swan is on the water, and it's a white bird. Starts out as ugly duckling, right? Okay, it's about needing to navigate the emotional waters that you may be going through with more grace and poise, gliding on top of the water rather than being dragged down into the bottom of the water. You know, even for this card, even though the mermaid is capable of sitting at the bottom of the ocean, swimming in the bottom of the ocean, on this card she's sitting on a rock, which, hello Capricorn, that's you, out of the water. So it's being aware of what's going on emotionally without allowing it to pull you down to the depths where you cannot get out of it again. And this swan is also moving over the water. So this is about allowing those emotions to flow, again, without allowing them to define you or to push you into a certain action. From my experience, and maybe this will help you, Capricorn, when I'm feeling intense emotions, the times when I've had biggest success is when I've been able to back up and just observe them, just watch them as if I'm watching a movie. Like, okay, this emotion's going on. Okay, this one's going on. And then, you know, for me, I ask my guides, what is this emotion trying to tell me? But you can also ask the emotions themselves, what are you saying to me? What's going on? Because it's the energy behind the emotions that is your key to truth. It's not the emotions themselves. Anger tells us that we're feeling afraid. Why are we feeling afraid? Because a boundary has been stepped over. But the anger itself may not be your highest course of action. Just reacting and punching someone might not be your highest course of action. But speaking and setting better boundaries may be. Okay, so there's something else in here, Capricorn, sorry. It's also that right now the consequences of your actions have a lot of effect, have a strong effect on those around you. So be careful that you're not allowing yourself again to get carried away in the wrong direction. Make sure that you're keeping your emotional poise, make sure that you're keeping your awareness funneled in a constructive direction, because what you do has a lot of ripple effect associated with it. Okay, moving on to Leo. All right, Leo. Elder of Water. Another water message. This is about listening. Now, where did we start with this reading? We talked about being a little narrow-minded in your estimation of what you're going after. This energy here is asking you to listen very deeply to everything and everyone that's going on. Listen to your instinct. Listen to what other people are saying. Listen to nature. Listen to the synchronicities and the signs from your guides. It's understanding how to listen at a depth that gets you out of yourself, but also allows you to calm down and quell any... Leo, this is listening to yourself, actually, in this case. That there are unexpressed or unacknowledged emotional energies within you that you need to pay attention to. And it seems to be coming from the inner child. So it may be feelings of feeling hurt, feeling like something was done unfairly, feeling like you've been slighted. It's that inner child that is really feeling the depth of these right now. And because it's the inner child, it's below kind of our normal consciousness of emotional interaction. But it's really asking you to listen to it this time, Leo, and to see what you can do to calm it down. To actually talk to it and say, hey, I hear how you're feeling. Just like you would talk to a child, like, hey, I see what's going on, but you're okay, you're safe. This is how we're going to handle this. So, Leo, for you, the energies that we talked about very early on before I started doing the astrological readings are very much, all your reactions are coming from that inner child. They're coming from that sense of being slighted or hurt or wronged. Okay, so this is a deeper healing on the inside that is more important than the healing that's on the outside right now. So this is asking you for some introspective time as well, so you can take care of what's going on between these four walls. Okay, Taurus and fellow Tauruses, Tauruses, this will be for us. Okay. Now I'm not drawing two just because I'm a Taurus as well. This is, for some reason, we needed two cards here. Page of Water and Two of Fire. Okay, so there's going to be messages coming from, I'm going to say it's like messages coming from beyond. There's messages coming from places that you're not used to receiving messages. And I want to say these are guides, or they may be just people who have crossed over. It's from an otherworldly source. Feel that very strongly here with this kind of lighter, natural liminal space going right into the Page of Water. Less about the earthly stuff and more here. So you may be freaked out by some of the information you're getting, but it just seems like that energy we talked about, burning up the old, is opening up a new gateway for just more ethereal information to come through, more intuitive, but more specifically talkative information. This Page of Water, it's going to be intuitive, but it's going to be more kind of talky. It's funny, I can even feel myself wanting to pull away from this. So Taurus, if you're like, nope, I get it. All right, what else can you tell me about this information? It's going to be opening different doors for you. Now, is that in terms of the internal experience or the external? In terms of the external experience. So even though you're getting this inner information, it's going to be opening new external doors. So if you have been feeling stuck, or I don't know where to go next, I'm sort of happy where I am, but I know there's something new I could be doing, this is the key. So again, listen, open up to this. I think, Taurus, for you, it's more about opening up, being open to this, being open to the information coming from sources that you haven't had it come from before. All right, now let's move on to Pisces. Council of Monarchs. So this is opposite information, Pisces. This is actually about coming back down to earth. Okay, and it's about, it seems redundant to say this to you, but it's about trusting your gut in the midst of an action that seems to be about logic, that seems like a court case or something that, or an argument perhaps, a discussion that seems to be about rationale or logic, but there's an there's an intuition or an intuitive hit that you're getting about something, Pisces, and you may not be seeing the evidence. Funny, because Earth, which would be evidence, is behind everyone. And so you may not be receiving evidence. It's like the quintessential thing that happens in a courtroom movie, like a courtroom drama. It seems like all hope is lost, even though someone has a gut feeling that this is really the truth. And then at the last minute, the truth finally comes in. That's what I'm feeling, Pisces. So don't give up on that gut feeling. Don't give up on that gut hunch. Really continue to follow it, even if you're getting flack or feedback that, you know, you're kind of crazy for thinking that. Stay true to it, Pisces, because it's only a matter of time here. In fact, the stronger you stay with that hunch or intuition, the quicker the information will come forward to support you. All right, finally, Sagittarius. All right, 2 from the middle for Sag. The Tower and the Moon. Yikes. I'd be getting more than the 2 cards. These are big cards, Sagittarius. This is the stripping through of illusion for good. This is the final tearing down of the proverbial curtain. You know, like the Wizard of Oz, when she comes behind, when she finds the truth about the wizard, she goes backstage and sees what's really behind that curtain. That's what's going on for you right now, Sag. And so you may be feeling extra emotional. You may be feeling a little chaotic in your world. But I feel like it's going to be a less chaotic feeling and more of a triumphant feeling. Like, yes, I knew this was the way it was. The moon has been in play for a long time here. The illusion, or I can't quite see what's going on. I'm not really sure what I'm looking at. And the Tower is like cathartic. It pulls all of that down. It clears all of that out. And finally, you're left with the truth. I like the way she depicts this card because it's like he's ripping through reality. You can almost see the fabric of reality pulling apart. And that fabric of reality has been an illusion. You can even see, I mean, look how similar that is with the lights coming through, and that color is reflected in the lights. So it's like the Tower is pulling apart or pulling down this energy of illusion for you. And where does that, what is Sag supposed to do with that? Literally just ride the wave, Sag. Resist that urge to say, I told you so. But allow all of this to just fall apart, and then you're going to know the moment when it's time to rise back up and say your truth, speak, take action. For now, this is also going within. So if you feel like you keep discovering more and more illusions in yourself, things that weren't true, just keep it coming. Just say, okay, yep. Moving on, next one. Almost expect to be finding these illusions because they all have to go. They all have to go for this world to be rebuilt, for this new coming, for the healing to happen. They all have to come apart. So, is there any advice for Sag? It's just because these cards are so big. Elder of Air. So keep your head, keep gathering information, stay on top of your emotions so that you stay in a very detached place and you're just gathering the information, you're gathering the facts. And again, you're going to know when to use them, when to say the right thing at the right time. But you need to stay in an unemotional place right now. You need to stay in a very detached, powerful place that allows you to see things for what they truly are, so that you can bring it all together in one cohesive whole. All right, thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you again soon.